What has surprised you about GPT-4 that you found beautiful? As a scholar of intelligence, of human intelligence, of artificial intelligence, of the human mind.
I mean, the beauty does interact with the screaming horror, um,
Is there
but
beauty in the horror?
but like beautiful moments. Well, somebody asked Bing Sydney to describe herself and fed the resulting description into one of the stable diffusion things, I think. And she's pretty, and this is something that should have been like an amazing moment. Like the AI describes herself, you get to see what the AI thinks the AI looks like, although the thing that's doing the drawing is not the same thing that's outputting the text. um and it does happen the way that it would happen that it happened in the old school science fiction, when you ask an AI to make a picture of what it looks like. Not just because there are two different AI systems being stacked that don't actually interact, it's not the same person, but also because the AI was trained by imitation in a way that makes it very difficult to guess how much of that it really understood, and probably not actually a whole bunch. Um, although GPT-4 is like multimodal and can like draw vector drawings of things that make sense, and like does appear to have some kind of spatial visualization going on in there. But like the pretty picture of the like girl with the steampunk goggles on her head, if I'm remembering correctly what she looked like it didn't see that in full detail. It just like made a description of it and stable diffusion output it. And there's the concern about how much the discourse is going to go completely insane once the AIs all look like that and like are actually look like people talking. Um, and yeah, there's like another moment where somebody is asking Bing about um, like, well, I like fed my kid green potatoes and they have the following symptoms. And Bing is like, that's solanine poisoning. And like, call an ambulance. And the person's like, I can't afford an ambulance. I guess if like this is time for like my kid to go, that's God's will. And the main Bing thread gives the like message of like, I cannot talk about this anymore. And the suggested replies to it say, please don't give up on your child. Solanine poisoning can be treated if caught early. And, if that happened in fiction, that would be like, the AI cares. The AI is bypassing the block on it to try to help this person. And is it real? Probably not, but nobody knows what's going on in there. It's part of a process where these things are not happening in a way where somebody figured out how to make an AI care, and we know that it cares, and we can acknowledge it's caring now. It's being trained by this imitation process, followed by reinforcement learning on human feedback. And we're like trying to point it in this direction, and it's like pointed partially in this direction, and nobody has any idea what's going on inside it. And if there was a tiny fragment of real caring in there, we would not know. It's not even clear what it means exactly. And things are clearer cut in science fiction.
We'll talk about the horror and the terror and where the trajectories this can take. But this seems like a very special moment. Just a moment where we get to interact with a system that might have care and kindness and emotion and maybe something like consciousness. And we don't know if it does. And we're trying to figure that out. And we're wondering about what it means to care. We're trying to figure out almost different aspects of what it means to be human, about the human condition, by looking at this AI that has some of the properties of that. It's almost like this subtle, fragile moment in the history of the human species. We're trying to almost put a mirror to ourselves here.
Except that's probably not yet. It probably isn't happening right now. We are boiling the frog. We are seeing increasing signs bit by bit. because not like spontaneous signs, because people are trying to train the systems to do that using imitative learning. And the imitative learning is like spilling over and having side effects. And the most photogenic examples are being posted to Twitter,
Yeah.
rather than being examined in any systematic way. So when you are boiling a frog like that, or you're going to get like first is going to come the Blake Lemoines. Like first you're going to have 1,000 people looking at this, and the one person out of 1,000 who is most credulous about the signs is going to be like, that thing is sentient.
Mm-hmm.
While 999 out of 1,000 people think, almost surely correctly, though we don't actually know, that he's mistaken. And so the first people to say sentience look like idiots, and humanity learns the lesson that when something claims to be sentient and claims to care, it's fake, because it is fake, because we have been training them using imitative learning rather than, and this is not spontaneous, and they keep getting smarter.
Well, do you think we would oscillate between that kind of cynicism that AI systems can't possibly be sentient? They can't possibly feel emotion. They can't possibly, this kind of cynicism about AI systems, and then oscillate to a state where we empathize with AI systems. We give them a chance. We see that they might need to have rights and respect and similar role in society as humans.
You're going to have a whole group of people who can just never be persuaded of that,
Mm-hmm.
because to them, being wise, being cynical, being skeptical is to be oh, well, machines can never do that. You're just credulous. It's just imitating. It's just fooling you. And they would say that right up until the end of the world, and possibly even be right, because, they are being trained on an imitative paradigm. And you don't necessarily need any of these actual qualities in order to kill everyone. So